Welcome to I Say Yes and with Alycia Larson, the podcast where we dive into all things spiritual and watch as we grow as humans and expand as the powerful spiritual beings we know we are. Let's dive in. Hello. So you know the song Magic by B.O.B. The words to part of it go, I've got the magic in me. Now every track I touch, it turns to gold. And that song came to me right when I was like, oh, I need to record an episode. What should the episode be about? And that song, Spirit sent that song to me. And I thought, oh, fun, interesting. What's that about? And as I'm sitting here receiving from Spirit, there's this beautiful thought of when we are in our magic, when we know we are in our magic, it's as if we're living in the unknown. Now, what does that mean? When we live in our unknown, first off, it doesn't make logical sense how your life is and how beautiful it turns, because the unknown doesn't follow the rules that the Matrix created. The Matrix created these rules for joy, happiness, love, abundance, and they've created steps that you're supposed to take to achieve things. Like to be happy and successful and loved, you need to get married and have children. And to not abide by those guidelines means you're sad and miserable, or sad, or, unlovable, or any of those strange definitions that we have given love and success. Now, when we live in the unknown, why is it so special? The reason when we live and allow ourselves to create within the unknown, it's because we're closer to God than ever. It's because we're connected to our ancestors. It's because we are in the space of knowing that life gets to be more beautiful than we can even fathom it. And it doesn't make logical sense. So much of the world wants everything to make logical sense that we suffocate ourselves from the miraculous possibility of the unknown. And I know there is so much judgment in the world, and there are so many people who think 1, 2, 3 needs to happen. And I've been seeing that a lot. As you know, I am shifting the energy and the light within grief, so that grief no longer is described in the way that the world's describing it now. And so much of grief is that you have to experience grief like this. And they show you this painful description and how, if you really loved your partner who's passed, then you're alone for this long until you move on. And if you move on too quickly, then there really wasn't love there. And there's these rules that you're supposed to be depressed. You're supposed to be super sad. You're supposed to feel anxiety. You are supposed to not like life for quite some time. And I look at it back in the day when it was a societal norm that when there was a passing, you wore black every day for a year. Every day. That is telling the world a story. By wearing black every single day, in that instance, in that circumstance, that is telling the world that you're mourning, that you're sad, that you may not be processing life at a level that everybody else around you is. And I think it puts a label on you in such a way. I know when my mom passed, I heard so many stories about how it was going to be something I never get over. my life was going to forever shift. And, I heard rumblings from people who had the best of intentions, I want to believe. But they were like, how is she ever going to get over this? How is she ever going to, there's just all these like painful, like stories being told about how my life was going to look. And even my grief counselor did the same thing. And they were like, this is going to take years for you to process. This is like, there's going to be a lot of pain for the next 5 years. Holy cow, really? Thanks for the hope there. But anyway, when we touch base into the unknown during our life, the reason we are closest to God is because we're not allowing the world to define it. The reason the unknown is so special and magical is because the matrix can't touch us there. And that's where life is really living. And that's what people are missing out on. So when you think of the song Magic, and you think about what it would look like if everything you created turns to gold. So you're an entrepreneur and your business just turns to gold. Relationships that you make, they're beautiful. That's gold. The unexpected friends that you make, the love connections you make, that's gold. You start to surround yourself with these spaces of gold, which will trickle into all these other parts of your life in a way that you don't expect it. Without even knowing it, I found my mentor when I was in a space of unknown. I was searching for something. I didn't know what. And it doesn't make sense that one TikTok video has created a 3-year relationship with me and my mentor, has had me travel around the world, has shifted my energy and opened up my remembrance to my powers, which has altered the truth I have about grief, which is opening up an amazing door of opportunity for programs I'm creating for other people who are experiencing grief and they don't want to live grief in the way that the world has decided is their way. And that one random morning of me finding that video, not understanding it didn't make sense to me. I just knew I liked her energy. And then we started, I asked her questions in her direct messages. I went to a couple classes, and then before you knew it, I was hooked. I was like, I need more of this. And now I have a second mentor who I met through this mentor who's equally amazing and phenomenal. And I can honestly say that they're like my closest friends. And that's what living in the space of the unknown can look like. It can be like this beautiful ride, this beautiful journey. It doesn't make sense, but when you're in the unknown, it makes total sense. Of course that happened. Of course it lined up that way. Part of my journey when I was looking, and Spirit shared with me all the beautiful things that I'm going to do to shift grief within the world. I was given the blessing of looking back at my life, and I've been blessed to be with 3 people in the room when they passed. And each circumstance was different, yet totally the same. And that gets to be part of my journey. And I used to look at it as, why does this happen to me? But now I see it as a blessing, because I was activating and waking up the magic within me. Because I am shifting the way the world sees grief. I am shifting the way that people feel pain around grief. And it's because I have found the magic in me. And everything I create, it turns to gold. And wherever you are listening to this episode, take a deep breath. Say Spirit. Or you can say God, whichever feels right to you. Source, maybe. I say Spirit. But take a breath and say, Spirit, allow me to experience my magic within, and drop me into observation mode to sense it. And allow yourself to just feel, what do you experience? Did you yawn? Did you cough? Did you feel a tingling sensation go through your body? Did you take a deep breath? But you can lean into that and you can say, Spirit, show me more. It is that simple to see the magic within you. And with this, I'm going to leave the episode, but know there's more to come. And if you are experiencing any grief, and you're interested in how I shift it, then feel free to reach out. I love you and have a beautiful day and a beautiful life. Thank you for joining me on this episode of I Say Yes and with Alycia Larson. I hope you feel inspired and empowered to embrace your inner power and manifest the life you desire. Remember, the journey to self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, and I'm here with you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls ready to say yes to their own potential. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more insights, inspiration, and updates on upcoming episodes. Together we can create a community of empowered individuals living their dream lives. Until next time, keep saying yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, and yes to the power within you. Stay magical and keep shining your light.